right, let's go to our guest, Drew Greenblatt. He is the CEO of Marlin Steel. In fairness, I met Drew in 2016 and interviewed him at his steel plant near Baltimore, where he was deciding whether Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton would be best. He's since expanded, wildly successful now with plants in Indiana and Michigan as well. Drew, how are you doing, my friend?
Hello, good morning. Excited to be on the Brian Kilmeade Show with Griff.
Hey, Drew, it's great to have you. I want to get your reaction. Obviously, tariffs went into effect at midnight. How is it impacting you as a actual American steel manufacturer?
So we are a fabricator and we're in Baltimore. As you mentioned, we're also in Indiana and Michigan, and we're thrilled with these tariffs. Finally, we got a situation where we have an opportunity, our factory workers have an opportunity to thrive and prosper. Why? Because we have a level playing field. This is fabulous news for the American factory worker. I mean, tonight I'm going to go to the Ravens-Colts game. Think about how unfair it would be if the referees schemed and made it 21-0 before the Ravens even got on the field. That's what we've been dealing with for the last 50 years, Griff. So we really have a fabulous opportunity finally because of the new policies. Our American factory workers here in Baltimore, Indiana, Michigan can now export all over the world, and we have an opportunity to grow and prosper like never before. This is a wonderful time for America. You're going to see the reindustrialization of America. It's a tremendous, wonderful experience.
You know, Drew, I gave you a shout out on Fox and Friends talking to Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, who clearly understands these things very well. And I said that, you know, you have talked about the reindustrialization of America. He said it'll take some time. It won't happen overnight, but that the conditions are set for that. Take me a little bit more into what he means by that.
I think that's a good point. I mean, you can't build a factory in a day or a week, okay? It takes time. But what's going to happen is people are now going to start scouting out land, putting up buildings. They're going to start, hiring HVAC guys and roofing contractors to start getting things accomplished. They're going to start buying equipment. Think about it. If you're a Japanese factory owner or a German factory owner, you have a terrible hand. You've been dealt a terrible hand. The energy costs are out of control. Your taxes are very, very high. We're just brutal regulations in these countries, England, Paris, Germany, everywhere. And then you look at America, and you got this opportunity to ship into the biggest natural market in the world, richest consumer market in the world, and now there's a 15% tariff to get there. You're going to say, to heck with that. I'm not going to build a new factory in France. I'm not going to build a new factory in Japan. I'm going to build the next factory in America. And that's fabulous for the American factory worker because what they're going to do is they're going to get opportunities to work at these new Japanese factories in America, or French companies or German companies. They're going to come to America. And the beauty of this is the local box company is going to be able to ship to them because you're not going to buy a Japanese box to ship out of an American factory, right? And they're going to buy from the local pallet company. People are going to get their oil change at the local gas station, and they're going to buy hopefully baskets from Marlin. So it's going to be a win-win-win for the American factory worker. It's a tremendous time to be in the American manufacturing industry.
And Drew, you saw obviously big announcement at the White House yesterday. Tim Cook of Apple making an announcement that he's adding an additional $100 billion with a B to investments, going to make basically all of the Apple iPhone glass products that you have. You see the glass part of the screen in Kentucky. What's your reaction to that?
This is fabulous, and this is dovetails with exactly what I'm saying. I mean, Tim Cook's a crazy smart guy, and he said to himself, it makes financial sense not to build this in China. It makes financial sense not to build this in India. The wise play, and this is a smart guy with a lot of money, is to build in the USA. Thank God. And what's happening is that Tim Cook's not the only smart person making these decisions. Tim Cook is a leader because he's been so successful for decades. What's going to happen is many other leaders are going to be making the same wise decision. And that plant in Kentucky is going to be hiring a lot of people. They're going to get paid really well. and they're going to get great benefits, and it's going to help the local communities thrive. This is a blessing for Kentucky. It's a blessing for our nation, but it's going to happen many, many times. There's not going to be all these news articles. The mainstream media is missing all of this. And this is an exciting time to be in, and we're in the front seat of the American reindustrialization.
I thought it was fascinating, Drew, to see the president's real deal making happening when it came to these chips and semiconductors. To your point, exactly how he wants it to work. He said, look, we're going to place 100% tariff on chips and semiconductors unless you build them in the U.S., and then there's zero.
Right. So right now we buy 70% of our chips from Taiwan, right? That's madness because China is jonesing to take over Taiwan. And they've been saying it, and they've been explicit, and they've been, doing these naval maneuvers and everything. It would be a debacle for this poor little democracy of Taiwan to get stepped on by China. Well, if that happens, we're going to lose 70% of all chips coming into America. That's an untenable situation. So the new policies are so very wise. We got to make things here in America so that we're not beholden to outsiders. I'm talking about critical things. I'm not talking about T-shirts, and I'm not talking about, blue jeans or something like that. I'm talking about critical things like silicon chips, like steel, like boats. We got to make that here in America. And if we do, we'll be more resilient if, God forbid, there's some adversary that tries to pull a fast one on us.
And you can get your jeans, by the way, in America as well, at American Eagle. Just ask Sydney Sweeney about that. She'll tell you all about that. But I digress. Just in the minute I got left with you, Drew, I know you have called this the reindustrialization of America, which I think is so spot on and so poignant. People can understand that. But what else do you believe will be the legacy of President Trump on American business and manufacturing?
Well, I think it's a multi-pronged approach. The energy is going to get cheaper because we're going to be opening up and using more of our precious resources that have been put out to pasture. Well, now we'll be able to exploit them. So energy prices will come down, which is a great thing. We're going to have more nuclear, which is also very cheap and no carbon. There's other positives. There's going to be less regulations. Foolish regulations that tied up business people are going to melt away. We're also going to see much better tax policy. Again, we want those Japanese and German factory owners to say, to heck with building in our countries. The right and wise decision is to build here.
Right
and
here.
It's a collection of all these wonderful policy shifts that are going to cause this huge opportunity for the factory workers. They're going to get so many opportunities. The wages will raise, and there's going to be a lot of career certainty, a lot of comfort to be in the manufacturing profession moving forward.
It's going to be something to witness. Drew Greenblatt, the CEO of Marlin Steel, and in full disclosure, a friend who I think really understands what's happening out there because he's on the front lines. Drew, thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.